What is going on, my locotes? It is Vato Spike and I am back with a brand new video. Today's video is going to be top 20 UFOs caught on camera. I know it is different from my original ghost videos, but today I wanted to do a little something different for you guys. Get a little, take a little break from the paranormal activity and check out some of these UFO stuff. I do believe in aliens and any type of creatures that are of this world. If we exist, I'm pretty sure that other life forms exist. But I just wanted to share this with you guys. Just watch a video with you guys on UFOs and see what you guys think. I haven't been catching up with some of these videos like the recent ones, so these are all going to be brand new to me. I'm very excited to make this video. But anyways, you guys, without any further ado, let's get right into the video.
Keep watching the stars. Something is bound to happen eventually. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 UFOs caught on camera. For this list, we're looking at the most discussed and debated videos and photos of unidentified flying objects. Some have since been explained, but many remain the subject of debate. Number 20, the Happi Incident. Set against the backdrop of Tianjin, Happi Province, China, this photo can be traced back to at least 1942, although some argue it was actually snapped in 1911. Either way, Japanese student Masujiro Kiru stumbled upon it in his father's photo album during World War II. The photo was reportedly taken by an American serviceman, with several onlookers gazing up at the flying saucer-like object above. Of course, many have argued that it was a bird, a streetlight, or even a hat. We guess you could say it's all up in the air. Number 19, the Belgian UFO Wave. In late November 1989, Belgium started receiving numerous reports of a UFO. Various people described the UFO as a giant triangle with a flat surface and lights below, and the reports kept coming well into early 1990, reaching a crescendo in late March of that year. When a UFO was picked up on radar one night, 2 Air Force pilots investigated, coming up empty-handed. While they didn't see anything, 143 other individuals supposedly did. For over 20 years, ufological group SOBEP claimed the photo was authentic, but the photographer eventually revealed it was a hoax. Writer Marc Allais attributed the Belgian UFO wave to the media and SOBEP spreading misinformation, causing a mass delusion.
Indeed, there is something going on in Belgium which is beyond our control.
Number 18.
Wait, was that the video? That is the fakest shit I've ever seen. I would 100% believe that it was fake.
Houston, we have a problem. In August 2000.
But from that picture from 1911, that shit, that looked crazy, because 1911, like a photo from back in the day, you can't fake that.
2014, social media was bombarded with photos of a UFO hovering over Houston, Texas. Taken from different spots around the area, the UFO seemingly consisted of several lights forming a ring. At the center, you can make out a single orb, as if the other circular lights are revolving around it.
Oh, damn.
The UFO almost shares a resemblance to Saturn, although some experts have theorized there's nothing otherworldly about it. Fletcher Gray of the Mutual UFO Network deduced it likely stemmed from nearby highway lights. It's also worth noting that Houston endured a thunder and lightning storm that night, which may have contributed. Still, how fitting would it be if alien life visited Space City? Number 17, the Kumburgaz UFO video. In 2007, a Turkish night guard named Yalçın Yalman, working in Istanbul's holiday village, noticed strange activity in the sky and started filming. He kept his eyes on the skies throughout the next few years, recording a treasure trove of UFO footage. The UFO that repeatedly pops up in these videos certainly looks like a spacecraft, even calling to mind the ones from War of the Worlds. Upon further inspection, some claim that you can spot 2 alien heads peeping out of what appears to be a window
I can kind of see it, the 2 little dots right there.
or a door. Our eyes may be deceiving us, but ufologist Nick Pope described Yalman's findings as, quote, a turning point for Turkish UFO studies, adding, quote, the authorities can no longer turn a blind eye to this phenomenon. Number 16, New Mexico, 1957.
That's a whole lot of land right there.
Ever since the Roswell UFO incident in 1947, New Mexico has been a hotspot for alleged alien activity. Almost 10 years after the historic sighting, New Mexico local Ella Louise Fortune had another close encounter of sorts. Cruising down Highway 54 on October 16, 1957, the nurse took a photo of a bright white flying disc. The UFO reportedly hovered around the Holloman Air Development Center for 15 minutes. That said, the fact this occurred near an Air Force base might provide a logical explanation. Even after the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization studied the imagery, though, nobody could come up with a conclusive answer.
That is true. If something is hovering on top of an Air Force base or something like that, they do get it on radar type of stuff. Like, they know what's flying over them, even with drones and stuff like that. But what type of experiment would they be doing on top of the Air Force Base that looks like just a straight thing of light? And that's crazy that they would think that nobody would see it though. You get me?
Answer. Number 15, the Lubbock Lights. In August 1951, 3 Texas Technological College professors noticed somewhere between 20 and 30 lights shimmering in the sky. 5 days later, Texas Tech freshman Carl Hart Jr. gazed out his bedroom window to find a cluster of lights forming a V shape.
Oh shit.
Hart managed to take 5 photos of the lights, getting them published in various newspapers and Life magazine.
Oh damn.
This caught the attention of the Air Force, which launched an investigation. At first, they believed the Lubbock Lights were really plovers. The Air Force eventually announced that it wasn't a bird or a spaceship, but a, quote, easily explainable natural phenomenon, without unveiling what the phenomenon actually was. Well, that's not suspicious at all.
Huh.
Number 14, Salem,
Dude, the government does not want us to know that there are things watching us, which is stupid as how they should release it, like tell us the truth and all that stuff.
Massachusetts, 1952. As if being the site of infamous witch trials wasn't bad enough, Salem was also invaded by aliens at one point. Okay, maybe we're exaggerating just a tad, but this was definitely a weird occurrence. On August 3, 1952, a U.S. Coast Guard looked outside a lab to find 4 large, vibrant lights up above. The 21-year-old guard snapped a photo through a window, and people have been making calculated guesses as to the exact nature of these objects ever since. Flying saucers? A witch's spell? Lamp lights? In any case, Salem just got even eerier. Number 13, ISS Light Beam. In 2016, a video surfaced on YouTube from NASA's live feed of the International Space Station, seemingly showing an object making atmospheric entry. The feed was then suspiciously cut off, although NASA claims that this was due to technical difficulties, and the object was likely debris or lights from Earth.
That is such bullshit. Why would they say technical difficulties and then say it could have been debris or, or trash or some shit like that? That's bullshit. You see, they would say, it's technical difficulties, but it was, which one is it then,
However, a subsequent video from the same feed showed what appeared to be a similar object departing Earth, followed by a bright golden beam of light.
Is this a UFO leaving the Earth, making the jump to hyperspace? These are real images from the International Space Station's live feed. They show a spherical object leaving the vicinity of the Earth and traveling upwards. As the object disappears, a beam of light shoots out.
This wouldn't be the last time that conspiracy theorists gravitated towards the ISS. In 2020, the feed captured another object moving over Earth. It was later reported that this was a retired communications component being jettisoned, although we're definitely keeping a close watch on the ISS.
We discard of our trash and equipment that's been put through its paces and is now retired.
Number 12, the STS48 Incident.
Tony, what can you tell us about this last-minute delay and what's happening right now?
Launched on September 12, 1991, the STS-48 mission's goal was to deploy satellites from the Space Shuttle Discovery.
This scene shows the actual release of URs with the mechanical arm. The arm is being backed away from the spacecraft.
In UFO circles, though, the mission is best remembered for footage captured on September 15th. While not easy to make out, the video shows objects zooming by and bright lights flashing in Earth's orbit. According to NASA, these were ice particles responding to the engine jets. Astronomer Phil Plait has backed up these claims, but we gotta admit, the believer in us likes to wonder. It's not the only space shuttle mission to have caught ufologists' eyes. In 1996, footage from STS-75 seemed to show objects buzzing around the broken tether of a drifting satellite. Debris or curious visitors?
Well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us.
Number 11, the Kaikoura Lights. It's only fitting that the Kaikoura Lights surfaced the year after Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind hit theaters. New Zealand's Kaikoura mountain ranges caught the media's attention on December 21, 1978, when a cargo plane crew observed house-sized lights flashing around the aircraft for several minutes.
Thousands of UFO documents have been released by the New Zealand Air Force. The documents released under Freedom of Information laws cover sightings dating back to 1954.
Air traffic control specialists
Damn, they be holding secrets from way back when, dude.
from Wellington tracked the lights, which an Australian television crew then recorded in color. The TV crew came along for the cargo plane's next flight from Wellington back to Christchurch. Shortly after takeoff, the crew captured footage of a giant illuminated orb. New Zealand's Ministry of Defence has provided several possible explanations, including lights from boats, cars, or Venus. But alternative explanations abound.
Others say it could have been an unusually bright sighting of Venus or merely radio and light wave transmissions. But for those who believe, even the publication of such sightings is a breakthrough.
Number 10. The Black Knight Satellite. The Black Knight Satellite remains one of the most famous conspiracy theories in UFO circles. It's said that this mysterious satellite has been orbiting Earth for 13,000 years. In 1954, UFO investigator Donald Kehoe claimed that the Air Force had discovered 2 artificial satellites.
Wait, 13,000 years? What? A satellite? We didn't even have technology at that time. Why would there be a satellite?
Despite the fact that such technology did not exist at the time. It would be another 3 years until we launched the first artificial satellite, Sputnik. Regardless, various newspapers like the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and San Francisco Examiner picked up the story. The Black Knight regained interest in 1998 when NASA released this photo from the STS48 mission. While most would agree it was space debris, others are not letting go of their Black Knight theory. Number 9. The Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights have inspired a documentary and multiple horror movies, but nobody can say for sure what happened on March 13, 1997.
In 1997, you took part in one of the largest military cover-ups in United States history.
That's correct.
This incident can be broken into 2 phases. First, a V-shaped formation was seen flying over Phoenix, although little footage exists of this event, and the footage we do have is low quality. There's more documentation of the second event, which saw 5 circular lights floating in the night sky.
There were many events, starting at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and continuing all the way until 5:30 the next morning.
Even with numerous photographs, videos, and eyewitness accounts, though, a giant question mark continues to hover over Phoenix. While the U.S. Air Force chalked the lights up to military flares, many have argued against these claims, and even Arizona Governor Fife Symington described what he saw as, quote, otherworldly.
Well, I saw a huge craft just kind of come right over Squaw Peak. That was, it was just breathtaking.
Number 8, the Chilean Navy.
The Chilean government agency which investigates UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomenon has declassified and released never-before-seen video from 2014 showing a mysterious flying object of which they suggest could have been a UFO.
A little speck can certainly stir up a lot of speculation. In 2017, the Chilean government agency tasked with examining UFO sightings.
I know that you guys don't know what UFO means. Maybe you guys just think UFO and think alien spaceship. UFO actually means unidentified flying object. So it's pretty much UFO. It's not like a circular plane. That's not what it's called. UFO is just an unidentified flying object. Just so I do know that some people just say, "Oh, UFO," and they think alien. They picture the spaceship, but yeah, that's just the original definition of what it means. Unidentified flying object is just a random flying object. Nobody knows what it is, but it's there.
The footage, which had been classified for almost 3 years, was taken by the Chilean Navy from a helicopter during the day. The pilot failed to make contact with the object, which moved like another helicopter. Even more curious, the object didn't pop up on air traffic control radar.
In 2 instances, the object ejected some type of gas or liquid with high thermal tracking. Captured on video, you can see a massive plume of material trailing behind the object.
Most mysterious of all, the UFO released an unknown substance and vanished into the sky. Experts were stumped, with the agent...
That's crazy, dude. Like, what if it's just treating us like a dump? It's like throwing us whatever alien life form or whatever it is. What if it's like throwing gases at us that they don't want, or like, I don't know, just something that they don't want to leave, or it's something that makes us think differently or ignore things, or like we see things, but that gas does something to make us forget, or something like that. You never know, but that's crazy. I would have been like, fuck, what is that?
The agency's director saying, quote, "We do not know what it was, but we do not know what it was not." Well, that's reassuring.
After an extensive study, the Committee for the Study of Anomalous Aerial Phenomena agreed it had all the characteristics to be classified as an unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Number 7, the Battle of Los Angeles. This incident took place in February of 1942, 3 months after the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor. Receiving word of another possible attack, air raid sirens went off around Los Angeles County and the area endured a blackout. Throughout the night, 1,400 shells were fired into the air. 5 people died as a result, and property damage was significant. Although it reportedly turned out to be a false alarm, the LA Times published a photo of the air raid with searchlights directed at what looked like a spaceship. While the photo was
damn, that's crazy. I didn't know about that. They have lights ready, so as soon as something is that, like, you can see it instantly. It's caught.
Touched up, this didn't stop ufologists from holding it up as evidence. The theory even inspired the 2011 film Battle, Los Angeles.
It appears that there's something like shadowy figures. I think I'm gonna head back now. Everyone needs to get out of here right now. Lucas, if you could just come back, please. Oh my God.
Number 6, Mexican Air Force video. On March 5, 2004, the Mexican Air Force recorded footage of 11 UFOs at 11,500 feet above southern Campeche state. Surrounding a military jet, these lights were detected during a routine search for drug traffickers. Jets pursued the UFOs, but eventually gave up and the objects disappeared. While some believe this was the work of flares, explanations also range from ball lightning to a meteorite deteriorating in Earth's atmosphere. Whatever these objects were, infrared equipment operator Lieutenant Mario Adrian Vasquez is convinced that they were, quote, completely real. Pilot Major Magdaleno Castañón went so far as to suggest that the UFOs knew they were being pursued. Number 5, the Aguadilla Airport Incident.
I believe in you all my life.
Even by UFO standards, this one's perplexing. It all started in April 2013 at the Rafael Hernandez Airport, located in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. A video was taken of an unknown object swiftly flying over land and then seeming to submerge underwater. After doing so multiple times, the object appears to split in 2. Supposedly, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security tried to keep this under wraps, but the video was eventually leaked by an anonymous whistleblower. A group known as the Scientific Coalition for Ufology was responsible for posting the footage online. According to the SCU website, it, quote, exhibits characteristics that cannot be explained by any known aircraft or natural phenomenon. Number 4, the Menville UFO Photographs. In 1950, Evelyn Trent noticed an ominous object levitating around her family's farm in McMinnville, Oregon. She alerted her husband Paul, who took a couple of photographs before the UFO departed west. In another account they gave, Evelyn and Paul both saw the UFO at the same time in their backyard. Either way, the farming couple's pictures eventually made their way into Life magazine and other publications, igniting one of the most heated debates in UFO history. Physicist Bruce Maccabee believes that the UFO in the photos was, quote, real and, quote, physical. Non-believers like Philip J. Klass and Robert Schaefer, meanwhile, say the photos were faked. The Condon Committee's investigation fell somewhere in between. Whatever you think, few UFO sightings...
I hate people that are fucking unbelievers. Like, fool, just leave it alone. Just fucking, you don't believe it, that's your problem. But there is something out there. Like,
have inspired this much analysis.
They can fucking suck it.
Number 3, go fast. Our top 3 UFO sightings are actually part of a package, although each has a distinctive signature.
Pentagon has now declassified 3 videos showing Navy fighter pilots interacting with unidentified flying objects. Watch.
Filmed by the U.S. Navy and published online in the late 2010s, they were declassified and officially released by the Pentagon in 2020. Released under the file name Go Fast, this video was taken over the East Coast in January 2015 by an FA-18F Super Hornet during the USS Theodore Roosevelt UFO incidents. The footage was captured using Raytheon's Advanced Targeting Forward-Looking Infrared Pod, or AT-FLIR. And just as entertaining as the footage itself is the fighter pilot's comments. While the audio is somewhat hard to understand, you can certainly grasp the astonishment they experienced while watching the object.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly.
Number 2, FLIR 1.
It's a clear blue sky, there's no wind, and you see this tic-tac, it's just this white object that's randomly moving around. It makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit.
Also released by the Pentagon, FLIR 1 was filmed on November 14, 2004, around the San Diego coastline. Like Go Fast, this video was also taken aboard a Super Hornet using AT-FLIR. The footage was captured during the USS Nimitz UFO incident, in which the Navy had a radar visual encounter. The video centers on a dark round object that suddenly moves slightly to the left. After lingering a little while longer, the object quickly darts even further until it's completely out of sight. Commander David Fravor can't tell you exactly what the object was, but he recalls that it, quote, accelerated like nothing he'd ever seen.
There's no propulsion, there's no wings. It rapidly accelerates and disappears, like poof, gone.
That's crazy.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I chased a UFO.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel
That's
and
fucking
ring the
crazy,
bell to
dude.
get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Gimbal. Rounding out this trio of UFO videos is Gimbal, which the Navy captured the same year as Go Fast.
Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Often getting mixed up with the USS Nimitz UFO incident, this sighting actually took place aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt by the coast of Florida. Out of the 3 videos, the object in Gimbal arguably looks the most like a flying saucer. Before you jump to any conclusions, skeptical investigator Mick West has called all 3 of these sightings into question, believing the Gimbal object is just a plane.
Well, if there's like that thing, it's rotating.
Honestly, the world may never know. If you think
That's
this
crazy.
is all of the UFO information that the US government's been sitting on, former Senator Harry Reid claims that it, quote, only scratches the surface.
Because I don't think no one has the answers. And that is too bad because there are answers out there. But we're not going to get answers just by hoping they come. It can have to take some work.
Do you agree with our picks?
Dude, I hate that. I know for a fact there's so much more that they are not giving us, but we will eventually find it. Obviously, we will find it one day, but it is ridiculous that they are hiding it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for all your love and support. I appreciate you for sticking with me. I am going to do a lot more of these videos. I love this type of stuff, creatures, UFOs, and all kinds of stuff like that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for all your love and support. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and that sub button. It really helps out the channel, helps me grow in this YouTube world. You guys know how it is. It is very tough in this world. There's ghosts, paranormal stuff, and creatures that we don't even know about, UFOs and all that stuff. You guys know how it is. Keep tucha, and I really, really hope to see you guys in the next video.